Hey knowledge seekers! This is our third deep dive into meaning and human nature. Remember how we talked about Viktor Frankl's revolutionary idea that we need to find meaning, and how he believed we have this spiritual unconscious guiding us? Well, today we're exploring something fascinating that connects perfectly with these ideas: the eternal dance between our basic drives and our cultural development. You know those moments in The Good Place, when characters struggle between their immediate desires and their higher aspirations? That's exactly what we're talking about today. Our reading introduces a powerful idea. Humans have always been caught between two forces: our primal drives and our cultural evolution. But here's the twist. Unlike what some people think, there was never some magical natural state where humans just happily followed their instincts without any conflicts. Think about how in Fight Club, Tyler Durden talks about returning to some primitive state. Well, our author suggests this is just a fantasy. The real human story is way more complex. From the very beginning, we've been wrestling with big questions about meaning while trying to handle our basic drives. Remember how Frankl said we need to find meaning rather than just pleasure? This text takes that idea further. It suggests that civilization begins when we start controlling our drives, but true culture emerges when we transform these controls into something deeper and more meaningful. It's like the difference between following rules because you have to, versus understanding and embracing their deeper purpose. Here's where it gets really interesting. The text talks about how there are two key drives we've always had to deal with: sexuality and aggression. Just like Frankl saw humans as more than their unconscious desires, this author suggests that these drives aren't inherently good or bad. They're raw material we can transform into something meaningful. The author makes this fascinating point about love versus pure sexuality. It's like that episode of Black Mirror, where people keep chasing physical connections, but miss real intimacy. True love, they say, opens up the whole personality, while mere sexual satisfaction might leave you still hungry for real connection. And here's where everything connects beautifully with Frankl's ideas. The text argues that it's not our drives that determine who we are. It's our personality that determines what we do with these drives. This totally aligns with Frankl's belief that we always have the freedom to choose our response to any situation. Get this, the author says humans are unique because we're the only creatures who are always sexual, not just during mating seasons. But instead of this being a burden, it's actually our opportunity for freedom and creativity. We can transform these energies into something higher, just like Frankl talked about transforming suffering into meaningful achievement. The big takeaway: we're not destined to be slaves to our drives, nor are we meant to completely suppress them. Instead, we're called to transform them through culture and meaning. It's exactly what Frankl was talking about: finding purpose and meaning that goes beyond just satisfying our basic needs. Quick question for you all. Have you ever transformed a basic drive or desire into something more meaningful? Maybe turned competitive aggression into creative achievement, or sexual energy into artistic expression? This is Dragon from Europe, reminding you that living authentically means neither suppressing nor surrendering to our basic drives, but transforming them into something meaningful. Until next time, keep seeking depth,